So I got 3 of my colleagues together to put together a panel for a conference this past December in which we wanted to discuss a text online before we got to that conference. Have a conversation, comment on each other's papers, and then go to the conference and continue that conversation with the wider public. So I opened up this thing called Comment Press, which is a plugin for WordPress, and 4 of us would write initially on, we were writing on a Haggadah, a Passover text. It's called the New American Haggadah. This is when Ari Kelman wrote, and you can see on the right here, we can add comments. We would comment on paragraphs. He could respond to comments if he wanted to. And then, here's mine, for example. I wrote a short thing, just only a couple of paragraphs, received some comments. I was able to respond to those comments. And then in response to those comments and others, I wrote a longer essay that included images. Let's say this one from the Passover Haggadah, and then we took all this and opened it up to the wider community that was taking part in the conference. And we're hoping that everyone would sort of gather and add comments to it. We ended up having the conversation at the conference. There's a couple things that came out that was really interesting. One is, when we were writing, we realized that because these comments go to paragraphs, or index to paragraphs, that we were thinking about our writing in paragraphs, and it affected the way we were writing. That was the first thing. The second thing that was interesting is that actually no one in the conference participated with us before that conference. And we realized that, in fact, Comment Press, although great for 4 of us to talk to one another and comment on a text, is not great as a social medium. That what we should have done is taken some couple of bytes from this and put it out in YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, use some other social medium to get others involved. So it was very good for us, but as in a different kind of space and different technology, and what we wanted to do wasn't very good for that. It was very interesting to talk at the conference not only about the Haggadah, but about the process that we went through to get there. That's it. Thanks.
Let me know when you're ready. Are we seeing the standing up there, or just I'm really hard on that. Wait. Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 4 of us often find ourselves talking a lot about issues of copyright and privacy and ownership in this digital age. And so when we were preparing for our little 2-minute talk here, we took pretty detailed notes, and this is a word cloud of the notes that we took based on our conversations. And you see a lot about practical tools like Facebook and Instagram that we use every day, but also concepts like ownership and copyright and creativity.
So one of our questions is, what can we do with the works of others? Certainly less than we used to be able to. Copyright laws have always changed with the times, but they've taken some serious turns over the last 30 years. If we had the same laws now that existed when I was born, everything published in 1956, everything would have entered the public domain this year and would be free for all of us to use however we please. There are also practical questions. What does it mean to have open access? What is the difference between infringing on copyright and committing plagiarism? Why is it meaningful? After all, invention, it must be humbly admitted, does not consist in creating out of void, but out of chaos.
And speaking of Frankenstein, the ways we control our own works are also becoming increasingly complicated. Questions like, how do you copyright a blog post, a Prezi, or an Instagram photo? What are the Creative Commons, and can you get credit for something without restricting access? Also, who owns your class assignments, if they're on a blog, if they're on YouTube, if they're on Moodle, even. And is your online persona synonymous with your academic identity?
We may not all consider ourselves artists, but every day we create ourselves online. What are we willing to agree to when we click the terms of service? Some basic privacy questions are, who owns your data, and can you ever really delete a post off of your Facebook? And what are the implications of these questions? Can a potential employer ask for your social media password during an interview? Do you need a subpoena to access emails stored on the cloud? Hint, not after 160 days.
So we want to talk about this with you all. We're inviting you to join us for 3 conversations over the next 3 Tuesdays in the Hires Room in the first year of McGill at 4:30.
You made it.